we had too many drive killers that changed the course of this football game. It could have been much more competitive. When we turned the football over, 3 interceptions, those are drive killers. We had a penalty that negated a touchdown. That was very costly. I think those things will come back and get you. We're playing a Big 12 football team, and we can't play inconsistently. You have to play on all cylinders, on all levels. I think that we rushed the football effectively against them, close to 200 yards. That includes all the negative yardage for sacks, so it was probably gross 230 something, I would say. You take the sacks out, negates that, which is a good effective day. That's what we want to do. But when you rush the football effectively and then you don't punch it in down in the end zone, credit to Iowa State, because they had a bend but don't break while we moved the ball. When we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot with turnovers, they did a really good job building a wall down there, and we just weren't effective at punching the ball in. And so credit them. They did a good job. The quarterback threw really a perfect pass, right, a big touchdown early in the third quarter. That was really a nice play. They dropped it on him. We got to create turnovers and protect the football on our standpoint. And I think one other element that we have to improve, and I hadn't seen it this year, but our punt coverage unit was not very effective. We didn't punt the ball very good, and then we didn't cover very good. I think I'm curious to watch on film how many yards did we give up after the first guy down there on the punt returner, after he missed. How many yards did we give up thereafter? And that's frustrating. I just guessed off the top of my head 75 yards approximately. I'm guessing off extra yardage, yards after contact, and credit their punt returner, but we have to be better than that. So frustrating day. There was some good things that happened. I think we got a lot of young players in there today playing, beginning with our quarterback, Josh Love. They brought the heat, and it paid off for them. And sometimes Josh did a really good job standing in there under blitz, under heavy pass rush, and making a throw under duress. So there was some good things done. But all in all, we got to clean it up. As we move on from non-conference into conference play, this is really where we have to take the stand and have to play our best football from here on out, going into conference play with eight important games coming up. So with that, let's open it up to questions.
I can start. So your senior quarterback did not make the trip, right knee injury. Can you just talk about how, obviously it did make an impact on you, how in your eyes did it make an impact on you, how much did it?
Well, Kenny's a veteran player. He's played in those big games. He has that experience. He's a good athlete and does those things. But I don't know. I mean, that's not by no means an excuse. I thought that Josh Love, his first game, he stepped in there, and we want to take some throws back, and a couple times we might have forced some throws here or there. But that's how young quarterbacks mature. They push the limits, and they realize what the limit is, and maybe I won't push it so much there, and I'll be quick to check down next time. And Josh will learn. Josh is a player in our program that is progressing well, and this was a hostile environment for him, first start. But all in all, he'll continue to grow.
Is there any news on the severity of the right leg issue and when he might return?
No, that's good question. Really, I think we'll see when we get back. Kenny had treatment this weekend and is working on it, and we'll see probably by midweek. We'll know if he has a chance to go or not. But even if he's just cleared, it doesn't automatically mean that just because he's cleared, we want to make sure he's healthy, because we want a quarterback out there who can escape from rushes and so forth, and be able to make things happen with his legs as well. And that's a big asset for Kenny. So we got to take its time. In the meantime, Josh is coming along nicely, and we're going to continue to progress.
You mentioned having trouble punching the ball in. You had that drive in the first quarter, the 7-minute drive. And you guys got down to the goal line, seemed destined to get in the end zone, and then it would stop. Do you see that as a permanent momentum shift in the game, and do you think that changed the complexion of the game?
Yeah. Drive killers are tough. Yeah, they're really tough. When we turn the ball over or have to go in and punt the ball instead of a score, it's just so costly. That was a tough one.
So you guys kind of get a regroup now. go into conference play next week. Is there positives you can draw from
Yeah.
a 1-3 start?
Yeah,
If so,
yeah.
what are they? And kind of just assess your team up to this point.
Yeah, no, I think some of the positives are we've made some strides on the defensive side of the ball. We didn't see it today, but I think we've been getting pressure on the opposing quarterback effectively. That's been a really a nice addition to have. I think we've been creating some turnovers. All in all, we didn't see it today, and that's a big difference probably is not creating the turnovers, and so we got to get back to that. I think as an offense, we've had our moments when we ran the ball effectively and had some big drives. So I think, as I told the guys, we need to be too deep across the board to have a successful season. You don't need 11 players. You need 22 to 25 players that are ready to go in, because it is a physical game and guys do get dinged up, and that's what we're working on. We're developing that depth. Some of those second team guys that are pushed into the starting position are first year players in our program, or first year players on the field, and so we're going to continue to develop that as we'll need them over the stretch.
And then the Cyclones were having a tough season also, and it seemed like a very winnable game for each school today. Especially demoralizing loss for you guys, because it seemed like such a...
No, I would take that back. I wouldn't say we looked at this as an easy game just because they're a record. They're a good team now. They played TCU. TCU's a 10-win season. They played Northern Iowa as a postseason FCS playoff team consistently year in and year out. And they played Iowa. They're a Rose Bowl team now. So I don't think they played Mickey Mouse. You know, those were some good teams. So I knew that. I see the record, but I know they're still pretty good. You know, the Big 12 football team. So I see that. But yeah, we came in and, you know, feeling good about a chance to compete, and let's get off to a great start, and let's come back with a victory, you know, on the road against a Big 12 school. That would be great. But unfortunately, I think we tripped up early on, and that those opportunities that came, we shot ourselves in the foot sometimes, and that's thus the opportunity was lost.
And lastly,
Josh, maybe why don't you start your impressions of today?
Today, I mean, I learned a lot today, and I made some plays that I should have made, and it's gonna be a great learning experience to watch the film, and looking forward to next week.
yeah, can you just talk about the Iowa State defense? They had some game today, you know, on paper, and what was it that you saw out there, and maybe how does it compare to anything you've ever seen before?
Saw a lot of things they did on film that they did today, and I knew they were going to come after me, being a freshman. But we had, I thought we had some great drives, drove the ball down the field, and we just stalled, and I made some mistakes that I'm going to learn from.
Yeah, I noticed in the stat sheet that you guys actually had more first downs than Iowa State today, which obviously isn't reflected in the score. So, let's talk about, you know, the successes you had today and draw some positives from the loss of the game.
I think we had time of possession was in our favor as well, and you can't just go down the field and just stall. You need to execute, you need to punch it in, put points on the board, and today we didn't do that.
And I asked you close to the same thing. It's kind of that juncture in the season where you can mentally regroup because you start conference play next week at New Mexico. So just kind of assess how your season's gone. You're 1-3 up to this point, and then talk about, you know, your expectations moving forward in conference play and what you guys plan to do from here on.
I got my first game out of the way and made some mistakes, and we learn from those and move forward and get ready for conference play and looking to win out from here.
Tim, why don't you start with your impressions of what happened today?
You know, I felt like we moved the ball well, but I just think that, you know, in the times where we had to finish the drive and everything, something kind of happened, whether it was a turnover or, you know, just kind of miscommunication on the offense. We just didn't seem to finish our drives well on the offensive end.
And how do you bounce back from a game like this? You know, it was kind of lopsided. What's going to be different next week at practice, or what specifically are you guys going to do to try and recover from this loss?
You know, our season is far from over. You know, we still have conference, and And I think the one thing that we can take into conference play is just, having, keeping this feeling with us, letting this feeling drive, the way we prepare, the way we watch film, the way we practice, the way we compete, and ultimately the way we play, next Saturday. So I think we can, look back at the film, learn from it, but, just keep this feeling with us, and, ultimately it's nothing you want to ever experience. So
What's your impression of what happened today?
Well, I think from the beginning of the game, I think they beat us to the punch. The very beginning of the game, I don't think we played smart football out there, and it showed. They got turnovers early. They got up on the scoreboard early, and that's what happened. They beat us to the punch first.
So you guys had a freshman quarterback starting today, and he had good moments and he struggled at times too. What sort of things do you do or say to a young freshman quarterback when he's struggling like that to kind of keep his head in the game?
We actually last night we had Josh Love taking a big role, and we had JJ Mello starting D tackle for us. And during our team meeting where it's players only, I called those two up to the front and I told them that we believe in these guys 200%. It doesn't matter who's out there. We're going to be behind those guys no matter what. It doesn't matter what happens during the game. We'll always be behind them and believe in them.
And defensively, I would say had a lot of big plays today. You got offensively, you had more first downs than they did, but part of that is because they had a lot of big plays, scoring plays. So what is it that you attribute those big 25-plus yard plays to today?
Could you repeat the last part?
What do you attribute the 25-plus yard plays today by Iowa State?
We had
faster, bigger, more athletic? Was it just miscommunications? What
no. It's nothing about the size or anything. We can play against anybody in the country. It's more about us. It's more about us self-inflicting ourselves. We're a one-gap defense, so if someone doesn't stay in their gap or if someone messes up, it opens up a big gap, and that's where a big chunk of those big plays come from.
And I know you can prepare and practice for a dual quarterback system, but when you're actually out there facing it, against a Big 12 opponent, talk about how difficult that might have been, or assess how it was playing against those two quarterbacks.
I didn't see a difference between the quarterbacks out there. I mean, they ran the same plays. Both quarterbacks were running the same plays, so I didn't really see a difference. I really noticed there was another quarterback out there. It's more about what we do, that us harming ourselves rather than what they were running.
Yeah. And then lastly, and I've talked to the other two guys about this. You guys start conference play next week. Does it kind of feel like you're getting a fresh start now that your non-conference is over? And just talk about what your expectations are moving forward as you head into conference play now.
Coach Ale told the linebackers, and it was a great thing for us to be told. He said the good thing about this whole process is that it's a process, it's a grind, but the good thing is a whole new season starts next week. We're 0-0 in conference starting next week, and it's all conference games from here on out. So that gives us a little boost. It's a brand new season for us. That's what I'm looking at. These 4 games, 3 of them were rough, and the slate's clean for us now. We're 0-0 going to conference, and we're ready to get it rolling.
Okay, great. Thanks.